So are you feeling proud?
Of course,
Why are you proud?
because we're taking back what's ours.
And was it a difficult fight?
Of course, it's always a difficult fight.
Kharkiv has been the most intense battleground of this war by far. It's been attacked, it's been shelled, struck by missiles again and again since the launch of the invasion on February the 24th. All that has appeared to have ended in Ukrainian victory now and the liberation of Kharkiv supposedly following a major counter-offensive by the Ukrainian military in early September. But just 2 days back, on Tuesday this week, the city was struck in missile attacks that destroyed a power facility, leaving about 18,000 people without electricity. And while the Russians have retreated beyond the Donets river at the border, just about 30 kilometers from here, they are holding their position there in the face of a Ukrainian attack, and reports are surfacing locally over the past many hours now even of a new Russian buildup across the border. The liberation of Kharkiv has been much celebrated, but there isn't anyone here who is not keeping fingers crossed. This city has been hit again and again and again since February the 24th through March, and just every few days really since then. The Russians have forced their way into the city again and again. They've been confronted in street-to-street fighting to retreat, but only to attack yet again. Artillery shelling has stopped for now, but missile attacks continue from that distance, and no one is certain that the Russian military will not try to invade again. This is a predominantly Russian-speaking area, and it has been the Russian target for a takeover. Kharkiv has been struck almost everywhere. Everyone has made arrangements where to hide when the air raid sirens go off. Homes are not safe, nor public places. Missiles have struck schools, gyms, shopping malls, public buildings, the Kharkiv administration office right here. This is also where the Indian student Naveen Shekharappa was killed in shelling. At Freedom Square here, the Opera House just round the corner here, and a concert hall were destroyed. They bombed a hospital, a cathedral, they've struck the Kharkiv Institute of Physics and Technology, a nuclear center. Damaged, but thankfully there was no radiation. But given Putin's renewed threats now of a nuclear attack of some sort, fears have never quite gone away that this may be targeted yet again, that may be the form of assault. Militarily, this has been a story of offensives and counter-offensives. The Russians have retreated only for now, but the fear of another invasion has turned this into a ghost town. It's just too quiet. Hundreds and thousands have left and not come back, and there is little to come back to. This is going to need a long spell away from Russian missiles to begin to feel normal again. It looks only deceptively normal on the face of it, and for some time only now. Some movement of people that has not always been visible around and welcome, but people are struggling really to go about as before. It's a trickle yet, and an uneasy one. All over town, windows have been shattered, they are boarded up, they have not been repaired. The damage, the destruction is everywhere, and everywhere people are rallying behind the army, behind the Ukrainian soldiers, here behind these symbolic sandbags to protect soldiers. A number of women are stitching together camouflage equipment to protect their soldiers, to keep them safe, and they're here more and more day and night.
We are doing its mask to our army, for soldiers and artilleries. It's маскировочная сетка. It's every day women and men go to this square and do it. We are glad to help our army. It's our motherland, and we want to help our soldiers.
And behind here, the Opera House was hit in a missile attack, and across from it, the business center absolutely destroyed. And this another building home to a number of offices and businesses, bombed beyond repair it seems. No one has come back. The smell of burning still lingers within here. Just about every building here in Kharkiv seems boarded up. Glass panes have been smashed. It's almost unusual now to find a building with glass panes intact. It's all boarded up. Cardboard, that brown cardboard look everywhere on just about every building. And this, a school building. Bits of the roof are still collapsing. And in this residential area of Kharkiv, this is what remains of what was once a home, destroyed in a missile attack, people killed, children killed. Every one of these attacks has been devastating. It has at the least destroyed houses, destroyed homes, and most of these attacks have killed people. Signs of destruction appear on just about every street in Kharkiv, and the fear is it may not be over yet. One reason people haven't replaced glass panes is you never know when they'll blow up again. The most intense firefight of this whole campaign in Kharkiv took place here in the Soltivka area earlier in September. This is where Ukrainian soldiers launched that strong counterattack against Russians who were in the city. This is where the confrontation took place. This was the most intense phase of the ground to ground, street to street fight between the two forces. And this is where Ukrainian soldiers prevailed. This is where Russians were cornered. They were cornered into a building, surrounded. They had to abandon a lot of their vehicles, their armored personnel carriers, their tanks, and they fled. This is the point really that has been the turning point of the Ukrainian offensive and their counteroffensive against the Russian forces so far.